Hey everyone, this is Sam. I am going to do another tutorial. This time I'm going to do it on this turtle. I created him thanks to Emily at Loom Love. Again, the base of him was thanks to Emily's toadstool tutorial. That's how I figured out the shell, and then the rest of it I just kind of winged from there. But I've been asked by a few people if there was a tutorial for this, for the turtle, so I figure I might as well make one. I apologize if I sound a little weird. I do have a cold right now. But we're just going to roll with it. You do need 2 looms for this design. You need it in the squared off position. And this is what I have it looking like on the bottom. I'm going to do some rearranging for camera. With the turtle, you're going to need 2 colors. You're going to need a color for your shell and a color for your face. This color right here at the bottom of a shell, I'm not sure if I'm going to do that or not. You know, I might as well. I'll show you how to do this. But if you don't want it a separate color down here, when I put these bands on, you can just make them the same color as your shell. The one I'm making today, I am going to put a tail on him. I'm not sure if I like the tail better yet or not. Actually, this is a bad example because of my lighting that runs together. I don't know for sure if I like it better with the tail or not, but hey, we're going to make it with the tail today. And if you don't like the tail, you don't have to put it on there. But for the turtle's head and feet and tail, I'm going to use gold. For his shell, I'm going to do a lime green. And then I think for the bottom color, where that dark one I showed you was a white, this one, and I think for the white part, I'm going to do a funky, well, for me it's funky. It's not really red and it's not quite pink, but I think I'm going to put that at the bottom just because I have a bunch of those bands I need to use up. Anyway, to begin, we're going to start at the end of our loom with our arrows. We're going to start on our center 2 pegs. If you've seen my Super Mario Mushroom tutorial, it's going to be very similar for a moment because, like I said, the base design of it is a lot like the toadstool that Emily at Loom Love did. Okay, all of our bands are double banded until we get to our capping bands. So every time I place bands, they're always going to have 2. We're going to place your turtle shell color in the center 2 pegs. And we're going to put 1 going off to the side, and then 1 going off to the other side. See, people, nobody's perfect. We all have band trouble some days. I have them a lot. Alright. And then we're going to go out at an angle. Sorry, I have a band that I dropped through my loom. Alright. And we're going to go out to the other side. And then we're going to go down 2. On each side. And then basically, these 3 rows, we're just going to go down 3 times. With your turtle shell color. I'm pretty sure you probably could switch this up where if you wanted to alternate your colors, if you wanted to do certain rows, you know, different colors. You can probably play with this. I'm just doing a basic design right now. My multicolor ones, those are actually multicolor bands that I found. They're Rainbow Loom bands. And I found them at Michael's. And I was pretty excited. Except I'm not a huge fan of the texture of them. They're different than, like, their solids or their jellies. So. Last one. Okay. Now, this is where you're going to grab your other color, if you want to do that. Or, like I said, you can make this color the same. But I have these odd colored red bands that I'm going to use. Because see here, actually here I did do a solid color across. And this one, I didn't change it. I made it the same color all the way across. But on that green one, I found a green that was very similar to the green inside that I used for the shell of the turtles, so it kind of blended together. So you're going to go across either in your color of your shell or a different color, however you want to work that. And then we're going to grab the color that we're going to use for the body. Now if you want to make your turtle, like say if you wanted to use this color for the body and a different color for the shell, I mean, you can do it however you want. I just have a ton of gold bands, so that's what I'm using, and I really like these. Minus the fact that they're really slippery, so sometimes they fall off my hook when I'm looming. Alright, so then with our color of like the head and the feet and the tail, we're going to go on these 2 pegs and we're going to go down 2 rows on each side. And then we're going to do the same thing over here. Oops. Alright. Now, we're going to put our capping bands on our feet. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take the color of my foot and I'm going to wrap this around 3 times. Oops. That did not work well. There we go. 3 times. This one's going to be twice. And then we're going to flip our loom around. And we're going to do the same thing. So it's going to be 3 times at the bottom of our foot. And then twice for the middle of the foot. Alright. Now, how I do this, actually I don't know how to spin that because I'm going to do it from this direction. How I do this, and actually, if it makes it easier for you, actually it's probably going to make it easier for you, so we're going to go this way. I make the head and the tail at the bottom of my loom. Actually, I generally have been doing it sideways, but I guess this direction is the same as any, so we're just going to do it this way, because then it'll be easier for you guys to loop. we're going to go up 4. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. We're going to go up here, and we're going to go over a peg. And we're going to take it, we're going to go to the diagonal, down a row. We're going to do the same thing on the other side. We're going to go down the center, and then basically you're just going to take these all the way to the end of your loom. I'm looking at this, trying to figure out, did I just miss one? I did. Okay. I fibbed. I fibbed. Abort. 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 I miscounted. I miscounted. You go up to your 5th one and go down diagonal to your 4th row. I'm very sorry about that. Like I said, I don't do it this way. I do it from the side. And granted, it should be the same, but in your head, it just looks different. Blame it on the cold. Blame it on the cold. And I'm not going to edit that out because I am not a professional by far. And I mess up. Real life. Okay, we're just going to take this down to the bottom of our loom. All basically I did is if you started this and then I'm just going too fast for you to catch up, all I did was took it off and moved it up a row. You just start this on the 5th row, not the 4th. Otherwise your turtle's going to have a really small head. Which, I mean, hey, if you want your turtle to have a smaller head, if you think the turtle head on mine is way too big, which sometimes I look at it and think that, yeah, his head's kind of large, but I think he's cute, so we're just going to leave his head alone. Okay, and then from here, this bottom row, we're going to stretch the color of the head across, and this is going to be a very tight squeeze, because we're going to do this 3 times, and that is a very tight band. And before we place the other capping bands, there we go. Before we place the other ones, what I'm going to do, there they are, is I'm going to put his eyeball on. I'm a bead person. I like the beads that are eyeball, or I like beads for eyeballs, but I know not everybody has beads. So if you want, instead of using a bead, and I don't have a black readily in front of me, so we're just going to use a gray band, you can take the color you want for your eye, take it, wrap it around your hook 3 times, and thread it onto your face color, and you're going to put it right here. Oops. And that's where that would go. But, like I said, I like beads, so that's what I'm going to do. But if you don't have a bead, that's okay. You improvise. I'm using a glass 2.0 seed bead. I have my dental floss. Dental floss. We're just going to thread it on to a band like this. There we go. And then we're just going to place it on the loom like so. And then we're ready to place the rest of our capping bands. Now, these 2 rows, after your one that we wrapped 3 around, these 2, the next 2, are going to be, thank you, the next 2 are going to be wrapped around twice, just like that. We're going to do it over here, sorry, just twice for that peg. Another way to do these ones, because it's only twice, is just take it, double it upon itself, and just stretch it over. And then for this row, we're not going to wrap it around twice, we're just going to stretch it across singly. Just like that. And that's your turtle's head. And we're going to make his tail real quick, while we have it there, and then we'll just loop everything all at the same time. Okay, for his tail, we're going to make that right here. We're just going to go 1, 2, go down twice, then we're going to place a capping band. For a capping band, we're going to 1, 2, 3. That's it. Alright, so let's loop these guys real quick. And it's just basic looping. This one's stuck, so we're just gonna, what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold this, and I'm just gonna help it around. There we go. Just got stuck under the capping band. Alright, I'm going to loop the middle first. And then I'm going to loop the sides. Oops, like so. And I'm going to loop the other side. And when you do this one, just make sure you do not take your eyeball band with you. Although if you accidentally did it, it would not be the end of the world, just so you know. Okay, and here you need to locate your capping band, pull it back, bring and loop everything forward. Okay. Oopsie. Not intentional. We're just going to push that back down. We're going to take off your turtle tail. You're going to come over here into the middle peg on this side where your shell is. So it's basically 1, 2, 3, third row down. Oops. Now see what I did here? I missed a band. So we're just going to thread it back onto my hook. And we're going to put it on fiddle faddle. I'm just having issues today. Alright, there we go. You're just going to put your tail on there. Now, before we take our head off the loom, you are going to need to slip knot your head together. So basically you just want to take a single band, you want to stick your hook through all of the bands that are on this hook, make sure you have all of them, because it's in between pegs. It's not necessarily the easiest task in the world. Alright. And then we're just going to put that on there. And we're going to slip knot it like that. Now we're ready to take our head off the loom. So basically, just be careful because this is a tight band. You don't want to snap that because then you have to remake the head. There we go. So, get this off my hook. Alright. Now, we're going to play with it, manipulate it. And this is the thing. I don't like the eye when it's on this side. So what I do is I push it through to the other side. And I usually push it down a little bit so it comes out in the middle of his head, because when we place it on our pins, it's more at the top. So when I push it through, I push it in through like a center part. So therefore, it comes out more in the middle of his head instead of being on the top. And then just in the back, you just want to grab your slip knot. If I can grab it. There we go. And you just want to thread it through. Just thread it through so it's down. And then this piece right here, your capping band, the 3, we're going to go down 1, 2. We're going to put it at the top of the shell right here. Just like that. Now, all we need, well, I need a quick drink. Thank you for putting up with me. Now all we need are some capping bands. You're going to need 2 of your head foot color because we're going to need to cap off his feet. So we're going to do 1, 2 here. We're going to do 1, 2 here. And then you need 2 colors of your shell. We're going to put 1 row here and 1 row here. So just 1 and 1. And then we are ready for looping. And we're going to loop the feet first. We're going to loop 1, 2, and then we're going to stop here. Fun fact about this turtle is he was a complete accident. He was an epic fail because I was doing the Mario mushrooms and I was like, oh, maybe I can make a Koopa, which are the turtle-y looking ones, bad guys on Mario, and that's what he was supposed to be. And the green and white turtle was the first one I made, and he was supposed to be a Koopa. He was an epic fail at a Koopa, but he was a really cute turtle, so we kept him. Then from here, since we looped our feet, what we're going to do is we're going to go inside and we're going to grab the top bands, which for me are the odd colored red, and we're going to pull those off to the side. And we're going to do that with all 3 of these. Goodness gracious. Just like that. There we go. Alright. Now, what I'm going to do is, I personally like the way it looks when you loop these two, your corner pieces. I like when I loop those last. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just loop my first one. And then I'm going to loop this row all the way up. And then I'm going to go back and go do this row. Be careful on the band with your head, because you have to go underneath everything and grab those bottom 2 and loop that up and over. Okay, and then we're just going to loop the rest of it in a row. I'm sorry if I'm making it so you can't see. Sorry, I'm going to turn this a little bit so I can see if I'm getting underneath all those bands. My goodness, there we go. Looping at an interesting angle definitely makes things more difficult. I can't loop the way I usually do because there's a camera between me and my hands and my loom. And then you're going to make sure you go underneath the bands for your tail and grab just your bottom bands for the shell. Oops, and I'm sorry, I just stuck my hand right in front of that. Okay. Alright. Now, from here, do you see these 3? So what we're going to do is we're going to loop this one to here, this one to here, and then for this middle one, we're going to actually put a slip knot through there. So make sure that you have the color of your shell. So we're going to reach inside this one, and we're going to grab the bottom 2 bands, and we're going to pull it over to here, and then we're going to do that exact same thing inside this peg, the outside one. So you're going to skip these 2 and go over here. Mine wants to pop off. It's funny, I can't get the blue pieces off my loom to move it around when I want to, but man, they'll pop off while I'm looming in a heartbeat. Cracks me up. Alright, and then you gotta go underneath all the green bands, and you need just the bottom 2. So you need to make sure you only have 2 bands here, which is actually really difficult because they get pretty tight in there. And then you need to pull it up and then just place it on your finger. And we're going to do the same thing with this peg right here. So we're working on the center 2 pegs where we placed our very first band when we first started this turtle. And then you're going to pull the bottom 2 up. We're going to put both of them on our finger. I just do that so then I can just reposition and put my hook in. And then we're going to take the color of our turtle shell and we're going to pull them through, because this is where we're going to make a slip knot. Just like that. And then pretty much your turtle's done. All we have to do is pull them off the loom. Now, I would recommend being gentle, especially where we have the cap bands. And especially where we have like the head, 'cause there's a lot of bands on there. Alright, so I just want to kind of stretch them out a little bit. And then what we're going to do is we're just going to pull this through some of our bands. We're just going to, thread them through the back. Just like that. And then there you go. You have yourself a little turtle. Like I said, tail's optional. If you like them better without the tail, make them without the tail. If you think his head would be cuter being a little bit smaller, remember when I said, oops, abort, abort, abort? You could have just kept going the way you were going. It would have been a row shorter, so it would have been, probably this piece would have been gone, and it would have just been that. So, but then you'll need a smaller eyeball. I love his big sad eyeball. Anyway, alright, well thank you for watching this tutorial. Hopefully it helps you out. Again, thank you to Emily at Loom Love for your tutorial for the toadstool, because without this, the turtle and the Super Mario mushroom would have never been made. Alright, thanks guys. Have a great day.